Hey everyone, Lloyd here, and I'm going to talk to you today about conflict. Why am I talking about conflict? Well, I don't know what's going on in your home at the moment, but in my home, conflict just seems a little bit more present. I think it's because we're all stuck at home. We can't escape in our usual ways from one another. We don't get to go to work or to school or to college, and so everything feels a lot more immediate. And conflict and arguments can fester and go on a bit, or just be started a lot easier, it seems. And so today, that's why I wanted to spend some time with you thinking about conflict. I had a friend the second time that I went to university, and she used to always tell me not to make decisions with my lizard brain. And I didn't quite understand what she meant at the time. I thought, well, I haven't got scales, I'm not green, I'm definitely not a lizard. But then I looked into it, and the bit of the brain she was talking about really existed. There's a part of our brain that takes very immediate, quick control of our whole body, so it can respond really quickly to important things. You might have heard the term fight or flight. It's the bit of the brain that does that. It's the bit of the brain that I share with my cat. If I run towards my cat, I'm quite a bit larger than him. I'm quite a bit larger than most people. So his response usually is to run away, because that's terrifying. That's a big Indiana Jones boulder coming towards him. If another cat comes into the garden, his response is usually to have a fight with that cat. He can take that cat on. These are animal instincts that he can respond with, and they're instincts that we also share. So when we start an argument, if something annoys us, or if we get drawn into conflict by someone else, this is the bit of the brain that's being triggered. It might not be a physical fight, but our body is releasing chemicals which get us ready to either run away or to fight. So we've got to be really aware that conflict is a tough thing to deal with, not because it's all mental, but also because there's a physical, chemical aspect and reaction in our bodies to it. And so, if we have this bit of lizard brain going on, and there's much more to conflict than just an argument, there's a physical reaction to it, then we have to work really, really hard at not letting conflict blow up. And this isn't just for now, this is for when we're back in school or college or at work as well. You see, our simple animal-like bit of the brain is kind of like a childlike bit of the brain. It blows up and quickly reacts to stuff. So as we try and be more mature and more adult, we need to respond to the things around us with a bit more thought and contemplation. A childlike or lizard brain response to someone starting an argument with us might be to get straight drawn into the argument. Or it might be to slam the door and leave the room. An adult response might be something different. An adult response might be us looking at the person and thinking, I wonder why they're behaving like this. I wonder what's causing this. Is it because we're all trapped indoors? Is it because something's happened to them in the past, maybe as a child or whatever, that has made them react in a certain way to certain situations? Is it that they're getting some sort of good feeling out of playing a game with me? If we're aware of these kind of things, we can help ourselves to be drawn away from conflict. A great person that I always look to in terms of everything, but including conflict, is Jesus. Jesus was constantly goaded by people to be drawn into conflict, really, really in-depth arguments. People wanted to start all the time with Jesus. And his reaction was to think about what they were thinking and also not be drawn into the argument. It's incredibly clever, and it is hard work. It goes against the hard wiring of our brains, but it is something that we can get into and that takes us into a more adult way of thinking. Conflict is not a good thing. There's a book in the Bible called Isaiah, And a part of the book looks at the end of time, when the whole earth will be completely recreated into a heavenly earth. That's a massive subject that we'll talk about another time, I'm sure. But it says at that time that swords will be beaten into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks. So the weapons that people have that they use to hate or hurt others will be turned into things that do good. Plowshares and pruning hooks, these are industrial farming tools. These are things that are used to grow new things, to harvest. And it's not just metal swords and spears that can be weapons. It's our words as well. We were created to use our words well. Can we turn our bad thoughts and our bad words into good things? Things that don't take away from people, but bless people, that give to people. That's a really, really tough thing. But smashing a sword into a farm tool is quite difficult. In the same way, learning to use the words of hatred that we might have, the words that cause arguments, and turning them into words for good or for understanding people, that's a hard process to go through. It battles against the chemicals in our brain, but in the end, it stops cycles of conflict happening. So I really want to encourage you to metaphorically beat your swords and your spears into weapons. These are words that can be used for good. It takes a lot of brain power, but I'm sure you can do it. It takes a lot of generosity towards people. It takes a lot of understanding and forgiveness. These are really, really tough things to do. But my word, this is a really tough time, and it's going to be even tougher if we don't learn these tools which will help us not have conflict with those people that we're in close proximity to, but actually we can understand them better and walk away from the conflict that we might have. So I wish you all the luck with that. Of course, if you're stuck in any scenarios at the moment which feel really difficult, or that feel like conflict is blowing up, arguments are blowing up, then remember that all of us as a team are here for you. You can message us on Instagram and we'll get back to you. So please communicate with us, let us know how you're doing, and most of all, use this time in a good way. Learn new behaviour. Start learning new ways to use your words and your emotions and your feelings, and when we're all back in our normal lives, we can be transformed and better people thanks to this weird, difficult time. I hope to see you really, really soon. Bye bye.